Hello and welcome back to Midweek Gaming, episode number 66. We're back once again, and I never disappoint. We are late once again because of my potato computer. But welcome to People in Chat, and we are back once again. Back once again on Wednesday. It's a nice rainy day. It's hammering it down with rain outside where I live currently. So this week we've got Luke Steered as guest on, and I'm going to make a point of saying he's from Green Pass Gaming, and as the Indie Gamer has pointed out to me, he's also from the Indie Games podcast, and he also steps in for Midweek Gaming quite often as well. Welcome, Luke. How are you doing?
Hi. Thank you very much. Yeah, very well. It's been quite a busy few days, but I'm happy to do this and not have to think about work for a bit, so that's nice. So yeah, very well, thank you.
Good to hear. And as some of you may have known that have watched Midweek Gaming since the start, you will notice Mr. Tushi is here. How are you doing? He's back once again with the crew. As and when you can.
Yeah, I'll try. You know what it works like.
Well, it does help that the show's actually an hour earlier than it previously used to be.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Yeah. It's like tomorrow I've got to be up at 5 a.m, but at least it's when this finishes, it's about 6 hours sleep, so that'll do.
Yeah.
That's a full night's sleep for me anyway.
Good to have you back on. It is. But yeah, I hate to moan about news, right? I've been struggling. We're drowning in news. It's unreal. There's too much. I shouldn't moan because you're picking drought soon. There will be. There's loads. I've got shows that are probably planned out next week's topics already. There's that many of them. But yes, welcome back to Removable. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much. It's good to be back on here. It's obviously great to see Luke again, and of course, I can finally stop my outros now. Tushi's back, so that's even better, you know.
It's nice.
That's exactly.
Yes, he's been carrying it on. He has.
I know.
He has.
So yeah, it's actually great to see everybody on here.
Good to hear. And is VJ back yet?
He is.
No, he's not yet.
Well, he was.
Welcome back, Animated. How are you doing?
Hello. It's great to have Luke back and Mr. Tushy as well. It's been so long, brother. Welcome back. Yeah, great to be here as usual.
It is. So good to have you back. And VJ, I don't think he's there. You there, VJ?
Yep.
Back now.
I'm back now. Sorry.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. It's nice to have the man with the what can I call it? The largest sizzling sausage in the community, Mr. Tushi. Welcome back, my good man.
We haven't shared a sausage for a while, have we?
No, your sausage is reserved for your better half, shall we say?
What, you?
Animated.
It's great to see you back, Mr. Tushi. Been too long.
It has been a while. I've been too busy gaming, I think.
Back now.
Yeah, Mr. Stubbs, I'm ready to roll if you are.
Yeah, I am finally. I was late because the computer was doing. I need to get another computer when I can.
Is that Luke hiding in the corner? I didn't realise he was there. All right, Luke, how you doing?
All right, yeah, very well, thanks.
Yeah, it's really good to have you on as well. My goodness, it's like
Yeah,
it's like who's who in the community tonight.
Exactly.
My goodness.
Right,
Well, this is your life, if you prefer.
Just do a few shout outs. I'm going to shout out back from the dead because you lot probably didn't notice, but Ballman Gamer and Darren said to me last night,
What?
did you know that Midweek Gaming was meant to go live last night on YouTube? I set it for the wrong day on YouTube. I was like, oh no. So I went and changed it. So Back from the Dead said hello last night. He did in chat. I've just seen it.
you mean he's been waiting here for almost 24 hours?
He has, yeah. I don't know if he's in tonight. Back from the Dead, hi again. Yeah, he is there, actually. Yeah, I said
Stubbs, just to add on to that story, Removable messaged me yesterday asking if I'm ready for the podcast tonight. That was yesterday.
Yeah, that's I couldn't believe that. And it's like, now you've just said you've set it, so that's why my brain's working that way. Yeah, thanks.
It was my fault maybe you've seen it scheduled on YouTube. Somehow I messed
Probably.
that up. I don't know how, but I did. But yeah, welcome to Darren in chat, Big Boldman Gamer in chat. Let's go down the list. Crazy Greek Dude, welcome. And Luke Steele was also in chat. Animated Evil's in chat. If you want to get an extra shout, animate this. But yes, they got a topic. Although we were meant to do a topic on the Star Wars Day, May the 4th, be with you. And I wasn't very well that day when I had mango. And Luke said, I want to come on. So I've saved some of these Star Wars topics for today. So the question is, are you excited for all the current Star Wars games in active development? I'm going to mention some, but if there's any more that have come out recently and rumoured, please say. There's Star Wars Hunters, Star Wars Fallen Order 2, Star Wars Knights of the Republic 2 Remake, Respawn Star Wars FPS game, an Ubisoft Star Wars Open World game, a Star Wars Eclipse game, Respawn and Bit Reactor, Star Wars strategy game, the Amy Hennig and the Skydance New Media's Star Wars game. So, is everyone excited for them? Is there any of us? Luke, you'll let you take the helm because I know you're a Star Wars guy. You are.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good time to be a Star Wars guy, I think. Maybe not in terms of films, but everything else is pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much excited for all of those, actually. Probably not Ubisoft's game for obvious reasons, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We'll see how it turns out. But yeah, I mean, Knights of the Old Republic remake for me is probably my most anticipated game this gen at the moment, I'd say, out of all of the games. So I remember playing the first one, and it's just an incredible game, a really, really incredible game with just an amazing Star Wars story. And I just hope that it's done justice, considering it's going to be something from the ground up and very modern, which the original is not at this point. So really looking forward to that. Respawn's FPS, that could be really, really good. Could be really interesting. Amy Hennig's game, I assume she's probably just going to make the game she was making at EA.
I assume so. Yeah, they cancelled it, didn't they? And they cancelled.
They did, yeah. They did, yeah. So I think Motive is still. Was it Motive that she was leading the studio on? I can't remember. Maybe, but yes, I mean the project was cancelled. So yeah. Oh, it was Visceral. It was Visceral. That was a studio. So and then Visceral was shut down. Yeah, I think that will be. I mean, that's essentially. I would imagine it's probably just going to be action adventure Star Wars, which sounds incredible to me. And then Jedi Fallen Order Survivor now, or something like that. That's what the sequel is going to be called, according to Jeff Grubb. So yeah, really, really cool. And there's just a lot. There's a lot coming out. Some of these are really far away. I mean, stuff like Star Wars Eclipse by Quantic Dream, and that's apparently a very long way away. But I think that's fine. I think it's good that we're just getting different types of Star Wars games. I don't think you can have too many because we had that period, kind of the last few years where we haven't actually had that many. So,
so that answers my next question for you personally. Can there ever be too many Star Wars games? No.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess there's a saturation point at some point, but we haven't hit it yet. Maybe we will in a couple of years. So. For now, I'm just happy we're getting more and different types of games, FPS and strategy games and action adventures, obviously remakes as well. So I'm happy we're just getting a good breadth of games in the Star Wars universe. So keep them coming. I'm sure there are others out there that are in development that we don't know about as well. So let's wait and see.
That's very, very true. Have you got like a Star Wars game? It'd be like your dream game to be made, or anything like that, or
Yeah, I think. Funnily enough, I think there was a Star Wars game apart from Knights of the Old Republic, which wasn't the, when that came out, it wasn't my dream Star Wars game because I didn't know what my dream Star Wars game would look like at the time. But I think there was a Star Wars game that would have been my dream Star Wars game, and that was Star Wars 1313, which was in development a good while ago, and you played essentially as Boba Fett in that game. And it was again an action adventure type game, and they did some gameplay of it and looked really quite amazing. So I think I'd like something like that, something bounty hunter-ish, maybe open world, not Ubisoft open world, but some form of open world. Maybe a Mandalorian open world game.
I love the way you quoted that. Maybe not Ubisoft open world.
Well, you've got to get that in there, otherwise the universe will put it into existence. And I don't want that. So yeah, something like that, something like a bounty hunter game, whether Boba Fett or a different bounty hunter. Yeah, that would be my dream game.
Well, Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian. Yeah, Cad Bane. Any bounty hunter. Let me play as a bounty hunter.
I know that it's about Star Wars. I know that he's a bounty hunter.
There's supposed to be a Mando game coming out, isn't there?
Yeah, there were rumours. There's been rumours for a while, hasn't there? That I think the latest one is that ZeniMax are making one, as in ZeniMax Online. But the only element of that I don't buy is that ZeniMax Online obviously make online games. Unless I can't see them making I think that like a bounty hunter game doesn't really work to me if you have lots of people in it. If that makes any sense. Like I think bounty hunters are supposed to be solo adventurers. Yeah. So if you have like a cooperative bounty hunter game, I don't know if that's what I'd want. But I don't know. Maybe they're making something else. But I hope there's a Mandalorian game in development. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, it would be. But there's some nice thoughts on there. You're definitely a Star Wars fan. Can definitely tell.
I am. Yes, for my sins, the last few years, I am.
For a bounty hunter game, I would want something along the lines of Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah,
that sort of feel to it. But like, you could maybe choose which bounty hunter you want, or which character you want. Put 5 or 6 in there and play which one you want. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, bounty hunters in the Star Wars universe are effectively just cowboys. So I think probably the comparison is very apt.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. That does. I'm going to jump to Tushi because he's not spoke on Midweek Gaming in a long time. So are you excited for? So are you excited for all the current and rumored Star Wars game in active development, and also hit on? Could there ever be too many Star Wars games? And what would your dream Star Wars game? I don't know if you're a major Star Wars fan or not. You might not be.
As some people that know me well, they'll realise that I've said before that I've played nearly every Star Wars game that's been out, starting from Dark Forces on PC in the 90s.
Ooh, okay. Not heard of that, but sounds good.
It's proper cheesy graphics now. That's one thing I'm hoping for if they bring back that franchise, especially with the first-person shooter, because that's what it was back then.
Okay, yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say now. You can never have enough. The most recent ones have been brilliant, apart from Squadrons, which is a bit boring. But I enjoyed the Battlefront and stuff, and they were good.
Okay.
I loved Jedi Fallen Order. That was brilliant. That game was.
Still not tried that, and I know it's about EA Play via Game Pass. It is.
The combo is just brilliant on that. It's really good.
I think that's hard work as well. I think that's where what's his name got a lot of his brownie points for. What's his name? Vince Zampella. I think that's where he got his big brownie points for, weren't it? Is that the game that made him?
I don't know.
It was EA. Sorry, but like, yeah.
Go on, carry on.
No, I think that Fallen Order, isn't that the one that EA really after he got that game out, they really upgraded his job then. I think that's the one that made him successful, wasn't it, in the company? Or am I wrong? I think Luke.
I can't recall, but I think he did move after that game was released. Internally, I should say, moved internally. So I think that's when he went to DICE a short while after that. So, yeah, I think so. But that game's great, and that was directed by Stig Asmussen, who was the director on God of War 3. And it really shows that it was directed by him. A little bit different from God of War, but yeah, really, really cool game.
Fair enough. Sorry, what were you saying, Mr. Tucci?
But it's only this year that I actually watched the first time ever watched the Star Wars movies.
Oh my God.
Which I enjoyed. I don't know why, because I'm obsessed with movies, but it was only 2022 when I watched the first ever Star Wars movies. No, it was late 2021, wasn't it?
Removable.
Helicopter.
Yep.
Your headphones.
Bloody hell.
That's
Just
why
don't fix them.
Animated went like that with his headset. He went. Same.
Oh, Jesus. Fluffykins.
But no, to be fair, I mean, I'm just as bad. I haven't watched a Star Wars movie since Phantom Menace when I was a child. So that's the last time I watched one. That was the last one. It was, from what I remember, it was a good movie.
Well, it's a movie.
But I don't remember it, Luke. But as a kid, I thought, I don't remember. I just remember going.
Yeah. I remember watching it as a kid and enjoyed it, and then I watched it years later and I didn't. But now I've gone back and actually quite enjoy it. So
fair enough. But it's all on Disney Plus now, isn't it, Tucci? So you could watch it whenever you want. You can.
Yeah. That's where I watched
to
them.
Fork out a load of money for them all. Welcome, Flap from Green Pass Gaming, and welcome to Back from the Dead. Thanks for the. You popped in last night when I scheduled the Midweek Gaming for Tuesday instead of Wednesday. Feel like a Muppet. And speaking of Muppet, welcome to Muppet. Thanks for popping in. But yeah, have you got any more thoughts on the Star Wars games, Tucci?
No, that's about it. But you can't have enough of it, I think. The more they bring out.
It's fair enough. Unless it gets to the point where, do you remember when years ago in Activision, like what they did was they milked Skylanders, then they milked Guitar Hero, and to the point where people didn't want to buy the game anymore. And that really is a bit extreme. That was, but that was only from one developer. This is multiple different studios working on different games, which is variety. It's what you want.
They can challenge each other so you can do the best one.
Yes,
that's the way I see it.
Actually, yeah. I'd say currently the one to beat would be that Star Wars Fallen Order. As of recent time.
That's a top tier game, that is. It's such a good entity. It's a good challenge, I think. It's the way that it's designed, because when you start off, there's so much stuff you can't do because you haven't unlocked. Maybe we'll sort your freaking headphones out.
Is it still going? Oh, come on.
Yeah, it fucking is. Sounds like you got a vibrator.
I have to start muting it, because I actually can mute people individually. I can. Back from the Dead suggested there's a beehive in your headset. He has.
Is there? Right. How's that? Is it worked?
It's not there now. Yes.
Right. Good. I ain't gonna bloody move.
But anyway, I guess the next person, that's all I can say really on Star Wars. Just bring some more. I'm happy.
Fair enough. I will jump to, I reckon, VJ. Are you there, VJ?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you excited for all the future projects that's in development for Star Wars? Because you're a bit of a Star Wars fan, ain't you?
No, I'm not.
You're not. That's fair enough.
I only played Jedi Fallen Order because Mr. Tucci recommended it. And look, in general, though, I mean, is there like several games? I think you mentioned right at the beginning of the topic. I mean, there's money in it, right? I mean,
9 games.
I think Disney's consumer licensing department. I think they turn over about $60 billion a year, no risk, just licensing out, or in terms of in terms of what those products generate. And from what I recall, they normally take about a 15% royalty rate. So it's and Star Wars is probably, I don't know really, but it's probably up there, right in their top 5 income earners. So I think Disney are happy, and I think that as long as their IP is in the public domain and on and sort of being discussed everywhere, whether it's soft toy channels, not that I watch them on YouTube, or vibrators, Tushi would say, everyone loves a good lightsaber, don't they? And now we're discussing it on a video game show. But just so you know where I'm coming, because might be a little bit critical here, and I don't mean to be, but so I have no issues with the games. I have no issues what's in development. I'm sure there's something in there for everyone. So I think that's really, really important. But I'm not a Star Wars mega fan. It's an okay IP for me. I just never connected with it. I did watch the Mandalorian TV show, and I'm looking forward to. I think Luke mentioned it. Was it you, Luke, who mentioned Amy Hennig, writer of Uncharted, and now over at Skydance? And I agree. I think whatever she was thinking of over at Naughty Dog before she was left or departed, or however that ended up occurring, I think the ideas that she had for the original Uncharted and how they developed, and then what she took over to EA, and they were sort of unceremoniously told to leave, and she's ended up at Skydance. I think she's been through a tough period, right? And hopefully, I don't know what she's up to over at Skydance or what that producer studio is doing exactly, but I am looking forward to it because I just really enjoyed the Uncharted series. I played all of them many times over, and I just hope she ends up producing a fantastic game. And the other one that really intrigued me, was it at the Xbox show that we saw the Star Wars Eclipse trailer? I think it was, right? Or was it the Sony one? Anyway, when I saw that trailer, I didn't quite, because I'm not a Star Wars fan, I didn't realize it was a Star Wars game. But when I was just observing, all the backgrounds and all the character designs, I thought, wow, someone's really, really just done an outstanding job here. I don't know what this game is. And then obviously, Star Wars Eclipse from Quantic Dreams. And I'm not the biggest fan of the studio. I do like some of their games. I just don't like, why they're in the press for specific reasons. I guess you guys probably know them as well as I do, so I won't go into those. And so I do hope that Quantic Dreams can pull something together, because I am looking forward to what they can produce. And look, I've been playing Jedi Fallen Order actually this week, because as I said 2 years ago, almost a year and a half ago, Mr. Tushi said play it, so it's taken me this long to try and wrap it up. And I am going to complete it now, because I think I just killed the 8th sister or the 7th sister. I have no idea, but I'm finding that I'm not enamored with the game, and every time I play, I don't know how this is going to go, but the main protagonist appears to be the love child of Hugh Laurie and Alison Hannigan, right? And I don't know if that's a positive view or not, but I just can't take it seriously. So and I think it was a good shout from Luke, right, in terms of Stig Asman ex Santa Monica, because I can see, right, it's got elements of, or a mix of God of War, Uncharted, and a little bit of Souls-like games, perhaps. And it's no surprise, since he was the director of God of War 3. But having played the franchises that he worked on, or for the company that he played on, right, I just don't think that in terms of the sum of its parts, that it matches up to any of those specific games, for me at least, right? And I think when is the Survivor game sort of planned to be launched? Is it next year? Is it early next year or something? Right, I saw on Twitter, but I don't know if it's an official announcement or just some people just guessing. But my worry about that is that's only. Is my calculations right? Is that 3.5 years since the original was launched? Would that be about? Yeah, that would be about right? To 2019, end of 2019 or something. So,
and he's gone.
Yeah. So I'm just concerned with that. I know it's EA. So what do you expect? But I'm just concerned that it potentially hasn't had the time, right, in order to refine some of the things. Well, some of the elements of the game, or facets of the game, that need to be evolved, I would say, technically and creatively. So, and then the last game is the one that Luke mentioned, which everybody tells me to play, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, is it? And I think it's on PS5 or PC or Xbox. I'm not really sure what format it's coming to, but that is the one game that everybody tells me, look, if whether you like Star Wars or not, or whether you're a light user of the Star Wars IP or whatever, just play that game. So I've never played it, but I am going to if I can get my hands on a PS5 because they're really, really difficult to get hold of over here. And I don't have an issue really if it's $50, $60, or $70.
Well, I think it will be coming to the Xbox. It's just a year.
Oh, cool.
Is it a year's exclusivity?
Is it one of those
we don't know. But they've been quite. We know Sony are contributing to development in some way,
Right.
but yeah, they've. All we know at this moment in time is it's coming to PS5 and PC.
Okay. So, yeah. I mean, if not, I'll just I'm sure Xbox have plenty of games to play, and but if I do get a chance to get a PS5 because I don't game on PC, that's the one title I'm looking forward to. And if Disney have got any other shows other than The Mandalorian coming out, which I'm not aware of at all, so that's my take on it. I was just hoping that Jedi Fallen Order 2. I just think it's a really quick turnaround, but hopefully they'll manage.
And Stubbs hasn't come back to that, has he?
I think what it is, Removable, is that every time I speak, I put him to sleep, and
that's probably the case. Yeah, it's either that, or I reckon he's just deciding to go to the bog. That's what it is, really, isn't it?
I know where he's gone. He's gone fucking co-op, isn't he?
That's what it is. Yeah.
Before they close.
Yeah, 100%. Whereas I'm the last person, I might as well give my opinion on it. But actually, it's a question for Luke before I give my opinion on this question. When you say Star Wars Bounty Hunter game, are you talking about the PlayStation 2 Star Wars Bounty Hunter? Or are you thinking along the lines of Mace Griffin Bounty Hunter? If you've ever played that.
No, I don't think I have. No. I played the PS2 Bounty Hunter. Which was
third person.
Which is third person, sort of. I guess action adventure. You'd probably call it like that. Yeah, I actually quite enjoyed it. Who did you play as in that one? It was it's Jango Fett you played as, wasn't it?
That's right.
I think. Yeah, that was a cool game. It's probably something like that, but open world.
There was the game I think called Mace Griffin Bounty Hunter, which was set effectively in a first-person shooter, but it was also set in an semi-open-ish world set in space, which was basically him going around and trying to capture bounties. Hence the reason why I thought it would be like a third person you prefer or first person in terms of that.
Yeah. Definitely third person, I think.
You want to see the back of your character.
I want to see all the jetpacks. I want to see everything. Let me customize him as well.
Oh, yes, but just hopefully not without loot boxes.
Well, we can own. We can dream.
I mean, as a Star Wars fan myself, I'm optimistic but cautious because the times when they all say they're going to bring out a good 6 or 7 games, I'm like, right. So how many of those are going to be good? Because just by playing the odds alone, I'm like, ooh, I'm hoping a good 85% of them are going to be really good Star Wars games. But we know how franchise games go. And I'm like, I'm hoping they'll be good. And to be honest with you, I'm going to hold off my reservation until I see more. Obviously, Jedi Fallen Order, I think will probably be pretty good in terms of VJ's concerns about a short turnaround. I'm guessing, to be honest with you, they were probably using the same assets. It's just almost like a duplicate asset drop. And I can't remember, and Luke, you might be able to help me. I thought I heard rumours that there was a lot of stuff that was left lying on the floor, effectively cut. I've got a gut feeling they've probably picked up a load of those elements and replacing it in the second one.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was, the first game had a bit bigger scope than they intended. I mean, if you think about it, 3.5 years for a game built on Unreal Engine, Respawn, really efficient developer, Same director, probably the same or similar writers. It sounds probably about right for a studio of that caliber doing what they do. So yeah, I think they'll have stuff in there that was cut content for sure. That they'll repurpose, and I think it'll be high quality like the first one is. It's not going to be a revolution from the first one, right? It's going to be a continuation of that game. So it's not as if it's going to be something else entirely. But that's obviously not a bad thing at all, because I think that's what people want. I know VJ doesn't, but
sorry about that. I'm back now.
That's okay. We didn't miss you, Luke. I just think that when you've got that tight a schedule, right, you've got certain facets of development, right? So for full production, it doesn't leave a lot of time. And I wonder if EA are just trying to get it out because they're worried about the quality of the other ones that are on the horizon. Because I kind of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what kind of game is, I don't spoil it for me, obviously. What kind of game is the Knights of the Old Republic? Because is it an RPG? Because
RPG,
yeah, it's an RPG.
Is it? Because I
thought they're just replicating it. They've got the code, they've got all the sidelines. They're just tweaking it and adding more to it.
Well, it'll be a complete remake.
Yeah,
it's a complete.
What I'm saying is they've got the dialogues, they've got the elements there. It's just
they've got that. Except, I mean, obviously they're probably re-recording dialogue. They're not just going to use the same voice actors, I don't think. So
so I was just, my point was that. I was actually assuming the one from Quantic Dreams perhaps is an RPG as well, or an action RPG, and I have no idea what Amy Hennig's or Skydance's take is going to be on Star Wars. Because
I think Quantic Dreams is so it's supposed to be a Quantic Dream game like Detroit, Heavy Rain, but with action adventure stuff. So they will be branching out somewhat from what they've made before. I don't know how much of it will be action adventure. And Amy Hennig's, I don't think anyone knows exactly what it will be, but I think everyone assumes it will be Uncharted in space,
or
basically.
It could be a rip-off of Hasbro's finest, maybe a Star Wars Monopoly game.
I mean, maybe that's the direction she wants to go, maybe. But yeah, I think if it was any other studio or most other studios, I'd probably agree. But, the Horizon Forbidden West was turned around in just over or thereabouts 4 years.
Five.
Was it 5?
Yeah, it came out in 2017.
2017, okay. Well, 5 years then. But, I mean, games like Uncharted 4 came together 9 months before they shipped, right? And they turned out spectacularly well, no doubt due to incessant crunch. But
I have to agree with you, Luke. I think my concern is just that if it was any other publisher other than EA behind it, I'd have to just go with what you say, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. I think EA raised some eyebrows, but then again, they're getting a better track record for their games, I think. At the moment, the last year or two, they've certainly been better, and they've got a lot of good. They've got goodwill from Fallen Order and from Respawn in general, right? Who are just a top tier developer. So, no, I'm pretty confident in it. I don't think it will be, a mess or anything like that. I would be very surprised if it was.
I wouldn't say goodwill. I think I would say just shock.
Just
it's like
stupid.
Hang on a minute. What? That's a good game? Wait a minute. What serious loot thingy is to be put in here? Yeah, what microtransactions are shoved in here?
It was a surprise.
So, as BMG mentioned, there's one Star Wars game on the more than one, but there's Vader Immortals on the VR on the Oculus Quest. That is a brilliant experience. I felt so scared standing next to Darth Vader, because when you stand there, you have to look up at him. He's that big. I think he's about 7.5 foot tall or something in the game. Which is actually ironically close to what he was in the films, if I remember correctly.
I was going to say he's still not as tall as Mr. Tucci.
I'm only 5'11".
I checked them out the other week. Touched I was going to buy them. They're actually on sale at the moment for there are a couple of quid for each of them. There's a starter pack where you get 3 of them together.
Yeah, there's all 3. Yeah,
it was pretty cheap.
It's definitely worth it.
VR master race in the building.
Oh, I love it.
Him and Friendly Pest.
And Animated Evil. He's also got a VR headset.
Yeah, I am sure. I keep forgetting about you. Apologies there, my friend. I call apologies.
That's okay.
It's probably because I just keep seeing your hands wafting in front of us. It's animated. Just hearing.
Dear oh dear.
We've had a good few rounds of golf on the VR. That's all I can say.
So has everyone spoken on this topic? Because I missed a bit of it. Have you?
Yes.
Yeah, I must have missed a bit again. I just sort his computer out. Welcome to Indie Gamer. Welcome to Pixel Slapper. Dragon Wolf, it's nice to see you. Who else we got? No, I think that. And Masuko as well. But yeah, thanks for popping in, everyone. But yeah, it's been a nice conversation about Star Wars games. Wasn't expected to last that long, but it was a very good one. It's a good topic.
It was Star Wars. What else did you expect?
I knew it would kind of happen. If Cerebral Paul was here, it would have gone on for far longer because he's also a big fan. He is. Shout out to Cerebral Paul. He can't make it this week. He's off to a convention this week. So I hope you have fun. A safe trip. But so the next topic is PlayStation is going to be putting $300 million more into first-party games and aiming for multiple platforms. So it says Sony is investing a further $300 million into its first-party PlayStation studios as a two-pronged strategy to grow its gaming business alongside releasing games on multiple platforms. This was revealed at their earnings call. Sony made it clear that this investment is for developing software at existing studios such as God of War, Sony Santa Monica, Horizon Forbidden West, Guerrilla Games, and is separate to its acquisitions plans. We plan to increase software development expenses aimed at strengthening first-party software at our existing studios by approximately, I'll tell you in dollars, $308 million. It's going forward. We aim to grow the game business by strengthening our first-party software and deploying that software on multiple platforms. Sony didn't go into what platforms it means, but it's likely to refer to joint PlayStation 4 and 5, and also PC. So, yeah, it's obviously needed. Games ain't cheap to run, to make. Sorry, a lot of people don't realise that a lot of games now, because obviously you've got to spend a few hundred. A lot of these games cost a couple of $100 million, then you've got to advertise it, and it costs a hell of a lot of money to make these games. It does. I don't know how far $300 million, to be honest, would get you in this day and age. I don't. Have you got any thoughts on this, Luke? Luke? Oh no, who was that? Was that animated?
That was me. I was gonna do it real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Because when you read it, it actually says it's a further 300 million, which means it's a 300 million on top of what they already spend on it. So it's obviously 300 million extra than what they already spend. We don't know what they already spend. That could be 700 million already. We don't know. So it actually could be a lot more. Yeah, it's not just 300 million. It's a further 300 million for developing the further. I mean, whether that's engine development, things like that. I mean, some of the games that they release anyway, the first party studios, just look incredible. They are some of the most gorgeous games out there, aren't they? The first Sony first party, and they play really well. So
yes,
if they are developing in software like they say, what's to know what's going to come in the future? They're going to be better looking. They're going to play better. It's a great thing, in my opinion.
Oh, it is. But no, you've got a good point there, because I didn't read that correctly there. Thanks for correcting me. But yes, games, they're not cheap to make. And obviously Sony Santa Monica and Guerrilla Games are probably improving their graphical game engines for next gen, etc. But saying that, though, I'll be honest, their PS4 games, God of War 2018 and the one I think I'm halfway through now. Horizon Zero Dawn, look incredible on a PS4, and in my opinion, when you put it next to games that are coming out on the Series X, I haven't got a PS5, so I can next generation now. They do. So that says a lot, in my opinion, of where the graphical standard is with their first party. So yeah, further $300 million will probably go a long way. It will.
Can I go next?
Luke, what you got any thoughts on this one?
I'll hand over to Mr. Tushi because he wanted to go next.
You can go next. Yeah.
Go on, Luke. You go first.
Next.
All right. I'll go first. Yeah, I mean it's good stuff. I think in isolation, 300 million probably for a AAA developed for one game is. I mean, you maybe get 2 AAA games out of 300 million now. So I don't think it's going to be invested in any particular, game per se, but I think they will probably allocate it pro rata across the different studios. Whether that will be on R&D and tech or just additional hiring, I think if you look at most of their studios now, they're ramping up hiring quite a lot. Even teams like Team Asobi, who are making Astrobot, they've got like 20 odd open positions, which is enormous for them. So and yeah, I mean, if they're investing more in technology, which I'm sure they are, then I can't wait to see what what Naughty Dog produces on a PlayStation 5, because it's just going to blow people's minds. I mean, you have games like Horizon Forbidden West on the Destiny engine, which is to this day the best looking game I've ever seen, right in front of me anyway. So, yeah, I think it's just great news. And as Animated rightly said, this is on top of their already, I would imagine, massive budget for software development, and they're just doubling down on it, which is great news. Everybody's a winner in that, I think. So yeah, I'll pass it on to you, Mr. Tushi.
The helicopter's back.
Great thoughts.
The way I see what's happening is I think all this extra budget is for because they've recently bought the porting studios, haven't they, and stuff. I just think they're going to push more towards PC and stuff and do basically like what Xbox is, where everything goes on PC. That's what I think all this is all about.
Well, it's a big market. Yeah, no, it's a big market.
They've had a taste of that money, what they get for the PC market is way bigger than console.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're going to go like exactly the same as what Xbox is doing. Just launch them on the PC and console. That's what I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
no, you won't.
That's
a good point there.
Well, I was about to say, one of the things that Luke has kind of, and Tushi and Animated, is that they hit the PC, but the PC versions did have porting issues. So I am wondering if that 300 million is just going to be put there for porting, making sure that the top tier games are put across, as much as possible. Because I think, if I remember correctly, I didn't say Horizon Forbidden Dawn had porting issues. Yeah, I think Ghost of Tsushima had some major crashes in terms of its issues. So
was this 300
million?
Out of interest, was this before they acquired Nixxes? Was Nixxes doing the work of porting, or would the purchase of Nixxes help the porting? Were they doing the porting beforehand? All these issues, or
no? So I think Zero Dawn was Guerrilla themselves did the port. It had some issues when it came out. It was fixed. It's a good port now. God of War, I think. I don't know who did that, but it didn't have. It was actually an excellent PC port day one, so that's good.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, Nixxes will obviously handle a lot of that duty going forward because that's what they do. I don't know whether we're near the point yet where they will go day and date in terms of first-party releases also on PC. I think at the minute they're probably in a position where they can have their cake and eat it, which is they can bring something out on a console, have it do very well, and as the kind of saturation point hits, drop it on PC and make a load of extra money, which is what they've been doing so far. But I do expect that window of time to start closing now, where it's traditionally been a couple of years. I think that will start to get less and less. So, because, you know, ultimately the software is where you make your money. And I think if, you know, the thing that Sony were worried about, and probably still are to some extent, but they're loosening up, is that they didn't want to cannibalize their own player base on the PlayStation. But that's not happening because there's not a huge amount of overlap between someone who plays PlayStation and PC, really. You know, people just tend to play on what they want to play on, so you won't tempt them either way. They'll just get the game wherever, you know, their favorite platform is. So I think they're probably doing that at the moment. I don't know if all of this money is going to go into PC porting. I don't think it will, but I think maybe some of it will go to Nixxes for sure to, you know, ramp up their efforts.
Yep. Back on that though, he's fucking. I mean, mine's just gone blank again. I think what they've done recently is obviously like a little tester sort of thing where they've realised that people still buy the games and they're buying the consoles as well. So
yeah,
it's a win-win situation for them just to release it on PC and PlayStation. They realise that they're
as Luke will probably tell you.
Yeah. Look how many Xboxes are still selling and all the games are on PC. Not everybody wants a PC to game on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I think PlayStation's just realised that. I think. Yep. 100%. They
are. But as Luke will tell you, with most likely he's got a beast PC and he will tell you God of War looks better on his PC than probably on the PS5.
160 frames.
Yeah. It does. But I mean, they look great anyway. I mean, just Sony first party in general, as you said, Stubbs. You know, you can look at God of War on PS4; it still looks really good now. So yeah, they just have great tech.
They definitely do. So
they just need some more variety. That's all.
They're trying. They are trying.
They are. Yeah. They've got some service games, some multiplayer games coming out and stuff. So
yeah,
it's looking better.
Takes time. It takes time. It's taking Xbox time to do a lot of their new stuff as well. But it all takes time. It's an industry where you've just got to wait it out. For a lot of them, it's like Xbox has got its faults, but also PlayStation's not perfect either. It's do
you feel like the switching around in a way where like Xbox is all like pro multiplayer, where PlayStation's pro single player? Do you feel like they're kind of switching around? You know, like with these single player games that come out for Xbox, where all you hear on PlayStation is all the service games come in and stuff. I know the single player ones are coming as well, but do you feel like they're kind of twisting it around a little? Or...
Well, they're trying to tap into the untouched markets, aren't
they? They are trying. They are trying to. They are.
So they keep the ratio at like a 50-50 or something, or it'd be perfect then.
Yeah, they just see what works. It is. But they're both trying to diversify into the games they don't really have, because predominantly on PlayStation it is single player over the shoulder action adventure games, but as you can see with the investments they've made with the likes of Bungie, once it goes through, that will massively help their multiplayer side, because they know how to make multiplayer games, and chances are part of the reason why they've got them is to teach them how to do this stuff as well. It is. But yes, VJ, have you got any thoughts on these investments? $300 extra $1 million into studio. We don't actually know what it's for into first party games.
Yeah, I think the panel's kind of covered it off really well. But I actually thought when the announcement came that all those funds were going to Luke, so he could buy up all the beachfront property in Jersey. Oh, and a helicopter pad.
Won't get you much in Jersey, that JJ.
Obviously,
and a Savoy shop.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can tell from
Savoy.
You can tell from the disappointment in my voice that actually isn't going to happen or occur. So I think the first thing is that when you put this topic in the chat, I was looking at it and I'm thinking, did I miss this? Because I didn't actually notice it, right? And then
no one covered it really. Not many people.
And then I thought, no, it wasn't that. It was that I thought.
Yeah.
I thought maybe I saw it, and then maybe on Twitter or something, and then I just glanced over it because I'm just wondering why Sony felt the need to put out the fact that they're investing. Well, for them well, I know it's not for us, but for them a nominal amount, right, into Sony, right, a division that generates nearly 1/3 or whatever, or 1/4 of their total revenues, right? And what is it, $22 billion? So I'm just wondering why they felt the need to launch a press release. But because the problem is that, as a panel said, right, it could be for a specific studio, specific project, upgrading studio. Yeah. Hello.
It was in the earnings call.
Yeah, can hear you.
Yeah, but again,
in the earnings call.
Yeah, but again, it just doesn't seem like a significant bullet point on the agenda to get your shareholders or your stakeholders, or to get fans or all that on side, right? It's quite a, I don't know. Perhaps Luke's got a different opinion on it, but anyway, I wasn't that excited about it. But then but as I was saying, and they've kind of left it open for interpretation. Well, if you want to spend the time to interpret it, as I said, whether it's for a studio, a project, or upgrading studios and infrastructure. I mean, look, the panel, it all aids in benefiting development, right? But it just didn't read to me as being something significant. And for me, I mean, look, if I'm really being sort of selfish, I'm just saying hand it all to Insomniac and get them to make an R-rated Daredevil game. But that would be me. But and on the other hand, it's like, as I was saying, $300 million. If you divide that across their 18 or 20 studios that they've got, and it's like almost 16 or $17 million a studio. And if you look at Santa Monica Studios, their burn on a monthly basis, just that studio is $5 million. So this doesn't seem like a significant amount. And I remember EA, I think it was some time ago when they were doing an earnings call. It wasn't that long, maybe a few years ago, but it might have been Ubisoft, but $500 million in terms of allocating that kind of sum of money to invest into building out a studio or a team, even, because obviously different team members from different projects and stuff, like when they reach the end of the project, they get pulled into different projects, right? Staff is reallocated, right? Because obviously have these huge campuses, right? So even adding $500 million is not a lot of money in this industry. So look, I can't attest to know the $300 million and how that's going to be disseminated. Is that the right word? Or if it's just to point out to the public, $300 million is a huge amount of money, right? But for me, it's ultimately, I think it's going to be for a combination of studio upgrades, staff, PC ports, that people have mentioned, and I think it's also going to be for salary increases, especially in stateside here in California. As I keep saying that, I spoke to a couple of recruiters just as friends, but Xbox and Google are really paying a lot of money for creative stuff and game development stuff. I don't know why Google's paying so much money at the moment, but they are artificially inflating salaries. And what are they called again? Golden handshakes, is it? And
golden showers.
Yeah, golden. Not in your neck of the woods, Mr. Sushi.
That's must be just a British thing.
Yeah. So and that has been one of the reasons. Not saying it is the reason. One of the many reasons why Sony have had to up their pricing of first-party games because they're not selling any more units at $70 than they were like 5-6 years ago. They're still selling the same quantity of first-party games, whether they're at 60 or 70, to the same very niche audience, which is 4 or 5 million before the game starts coming down in price, right? And that's where I step in. Obviously, I'm a bargain hunter. Should make a game called Bargain Hunter. I'd be up for it. Especially I could accumulate points to buy cheap games. But yeah. So look, it could be a number of reasons. I was just surprised that Sony mentioned it. And you'd be surprised, Mr. Stubbs, because it's like 15. Even 10 years ago, when you'd outsource to a studio, a decent studio, to do work for you. I think even if you take Sumo Digital, I think they did a lot of outsourcing work back then. 10, 15 years ago, if you were going to hire their staff, whether they were coders or artists or whatever, to supplement your own studio, they were outsourcing, I think, at a rate of $15,000 to $18,000 a head. This is 10, 15 years ago. So $150 million doesn't get you over a 4-year period. And when you factor everything else in, and just look through the credits of some of these big games, $150 million is at the low end, I would say, in terms of some of these AAA budgets. I would say closer to 2 to 250. So, but
you just did bring up a point, and again, this is probably a question to everybody. The extra 300 million. That couldn't be to do. I know they've said they're going to push it towards, software, but it couldn't be to do towards more prices in terms of materials. And they're just saying that they're going towards, the software side.
What do you mean, like chip increase?
Yeah,
they already got a plant opening up, haven't they?
Again, that's what I was thinking. It's something that VJ said. I was like, hang on a minute. If you want to make sure that new plant's up and running and at its peak, 300 million towards materials would probably be a better, more efficient way of spending. And tell me if I'm wrong here. Tell me if I'm being a complete idiot, please.
So
what do you think?
Can you just elaborate on that a little bit more, Mr. When you mean materials, you mean materials in terms of paying surplus for certain components to deliver more hardware?
Yes.
Perhaps.
I think the money was more towards like a software.
I know that's what they've said.
Yeah.
But it's a case of...
It can be reappropriated.
Yes. Or am I looking at this way too deeply?
No. I mean, if anyone knows how to move money about, it's Luke.
Apparently. I think it would be... I think in earnings calls, generally, you have to take it at face value. So if they're saying it's going to software development, then it probably is. It's a not particularly kind offence to mislead shareholders, particularly on an earnings call, particularly with the SEC around. So I think it's probably unlikely.
Yeah.
There will be accounting exercises they do internally to allocate that money. And who knows, maybe some will be reallocated. But I think, in this market, I don't know how much 300 million would get you in terms of either chip priority or new materials, because there's probably a lot of people willing to pay an enormous amount of money. And the issue is not actually the money side of things at the moment. It's actually just resourcing and getting materials and meeting demand. And usually there's not... You can throw as much money at it as you like at the minute, but there's just a huge bottleneck. So,
you could probably get a really nice set of brand new gold-plated propellers for your helicopter, Luke.
You could. If you were that way inclined, yeah.
Do you know how she could buy Removal a new fucking cable for his headphones?
You could get at least 300 million new cables with that.
Connections.
Do you know what? Go for it. Yeah, go for it. I've been using the same bloody headset now, coming up for about 10 years.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, the Astros. I'm on my mobile. I am.
Wow.
So I probably sound far worse.
No, you sound all right.
Yeah, you're not bad.
Yeah,
not compared to what I should sound. Where were we?
Is your PC finally had it?
Sony have one huge
$300 million spare.
Oh, it's messing up.
VJ's got me thinking. So I want to elaborate on this bargain hunt game you mentioned. Will it have that? Is bargain hunt? Is that the one with that orange bloke?
I knew you was
David
coming
Dickinson.
in. Yeah.
I want to get a fully...
No, it wasn't David Dickinson, was it?
It used to be, didn't it? And now it's...
No, the bargain height guy was the... Oh God! It was animated. You'll know this guy. He was.
That's where he started, and he stopped for that Dickinson's real deal, didn't he? He stopped bagging. He was on bargain originally. Well, that's where I came from, I'm sure. But
and now it's Tim Wanacott or whatever his name is. I know. I watch Bargain Hunt. I'm like a bargain hunt expert. It's like my mastermind topic.
I
thought it was someone else.
Bargain Hunt Simulator, Tushy.
I'm just imagining open world UK. You're going around all these fucking car boots on a Sunday morning, picking all this
bargain hunt simulator. Absolutely.
Stimulator or simulator?
Simulator.
Oh God!
It's all in the enunciation. Simulator.
Oh God! Oh, Stubbs, you there? So we could. I think we better move on to the next topic.
So, as I ain't got the correct info up in front of me, everyone knows about Starfield and Redfall have been delayed till 2023.
No.
I was going to read the official tweets, but I haven't got them in front of me. Just what are people's thoughts on what could Xbox bring out on their showcase to wow people? Because a lot of people were looking forward to playing Starfield. I'm not sure about Redfall. There was no talk about Redfall. I don't think people were really disappointed about Redfall at all, because it's pretty much like you knew even less about Redfall than you did about Starfield. You did. But any thoughts on it? I don't know who wants to go first. So
do you want me to fire it?
It sounds like you're ready to go.
It does. Yeah, it's
been too long since you put on the show.
As a standard, is that any delay is a good delay. Just make sure there's no point releasing it shit. Else it's just going to be slated for years, like Cyberpunk is. If you know what I mean, it was shit, but now it's good. But I've seen I got a lot of flack online. I made a comment to someone basically saying that a delay is a good thing.
Yeah,
and I got loads of fucking shit off that online.
There's been so much emotion. It's no, but not even trolls within the community. It's really divided. This one's really divided people. It has. It's.
I was looking forward to the game, but it is what it is, isn't it? We've got to wait a bit more. There's nothing we can do about it. Just leave them in peace and let get the job done. That's all I can say.
Yeah, plus the fact that normally nasty Xbox should, all companies in general should stop slapping a date on it that far ahead in case they don't know. Yeah. I understand you've got to have a hype train, advertising campaign, etc. But they should, I know they wanted to make this date because apparently it was something special date to do with Skyrim and stuff, and an anniversary. That's why they wanted to hit it. But it's not just Xbox; it's Bethesda. It's all companies are doing it. They should just. It's like Indie Gamer said before. He says, "I know it's not the same situation, but it's more like when an indie game's ready, when they're confident it's actually ready, they will tell everyone, then release it. Whereas the AAA games seem to be nowadays, it seems to be we'll release a date, then we'll tell everyone it's going to be delayed a bit later." Does anyone know of any games recently that have actually come out on time that have been big games that have actually released when they say they're going to release?
Gear 6.
Well, that'll be delayed too. That will.
Was Tiny Tina's Wonderland delayed? I can't remember if it was or not.
Yeah, that was delayed.
Yeah, fair enough. I was going to use that as an example, but it has it wasn't too delayed though. So
it wasn't delayed a long time though. I think it was about a couple of months or something like that.
Well, it's not. It's like welcome to a friendly pest, and welcome to She's Now Elite. And he says every big game this gen has been delayed. I don't know why people act surprised. Well, to be honest, I don't think anyone on this panel is surprised. It's just when it's such a big game and you keep hyping it, and you know it's not. It's fair enough. It is for the greater good. You're going to get a better game. I personally think you're looking at winter 2023 though, despite what they say, because although they've put the first quarter, they haven't actually stuck a date on it. They just put we think
first half.
Yeah, first half. So I still think you look. If that's a big game as they say it is. Sorry, that's coming out winter 2023. That's be the big game for the year. That will be.
I mean, I was a little surprised, but not in the way you're thinking. I was surprised that people were going to get very, very emotional over it. I mean, call me weird, but how can you get emotion over something we don't know about? We've seen 3 screenshots, maybe. We haven't seen anything about it. We don't know what it's like. We don't know. There's been limited information about it. How can you get excited over something we don't know? I was just like, am I being an idiot? Again, please tell me if I am. But I was like, I haven't seen anything about it.
when the news dropped last week, was on Thursday. I actually did a show on a Thursday night, and I actually booked off a holiday for Starfield from work. When I saw the tweet, he's like, "No, I was not upset. Upset's a bad word.
No, I'm still having that holiday." You're like,
"I'm not." No, I messaged my boss and said, "You know that holiday I've got booked in November. Put it in the bin, pal. Don't need it."
And working it.
I'll be at work. Yeah, I don't think it's the fact that it's these 2 particular games that everyone's annoyed with, because I've had a week to think and that kind of thing, and I didn't go mental last week at all. It's just a case of, that's disappointing. That's about as emotional as I get. And then I think it's more the fact that there's nothing else to replace it, because it's been touted by Xbox marketing that this is coming in November. This game is going to be huge. It was it was going to be the star of the show on June the 12th, and then there's nothing else to replace it. I know we might see something in June, and we don't know what, and I'm sure that there'll be something, and we'll forget about it. But emotions are a little bit raw, to say the least. But I think it's that reason that there's nothing else to wait for.
Nothing else that we know about this stage.
For me, that was the game that was going to put me through the Christmas period. That was the one. That was it.
Yeah.
And we just don't know what the alternatives are. And we're being told all the time, just wait.
Well,
just wait.
Next month,
how much longer? How much longer?
It's true, but there will be a game that will replace it if it happens. Oh, Gears Phoenix Collection. That's all I need. F you Starfield. I don't care. As long as I get my Gears, that's all I care about. But no, Starfield should be good when it's released, but it's not a game I was hyped for.
Forsaken.
I wanted to see it's Forsaken as well. There is.
Please no, not that game, please.
Forsaken? No, Forspoken. You mean? That's it. Forspoken.
No. Forsaken sounds better. It was an old SNES game from Acclaim.
Forsaken on the N64, I think.
Yeah,
welcome to.
Yeah, N60 was it N64? But I know it was by Acclaim because it sold terribly.
Yeah, it was a terrible game. The controls are horrible.
Welcome to UK Dazarus, you franny. And welcome to Xbox 448.
Language.
Yeah, he's always calling me.
PG-13. PG-13.
It's not. It's rated adult and on podcast platforms as well.
Oh,
it always has been. But yes, just shame, and hopefully you get a better game out of it. Whether it comes out in winter, I still say I'm sticking with winter 2023. As when we done a prediction show an after show last year, when they announced Starfield, and I took a lot of flack for a while on the podcast about, I actually said that I don't think Starfield's coming out on that date next year. And I did. If you go back to the reaction show, I did say that.
No, it's not the flack of that statement. It's the fact that you said you was going to complete a lot more games.
I'm getting... If I complete 3 or 4 games this year, I've done better than last year.
You've doubled last year.
Let's just clarify what removable means. It doesn't mean like he means like actually download and complete a game. It doesn't mean like complete the downloading of an actual game, if that makes sense.
Oh, I download loads of them. Just don't play them all.
I know you get to about 90% and then you press cancel and you say, look, I've tried.
I have to admit, I've not done a lot of gaming this last couple of weeks. So when I looked at my achievement score and I realised Stubbs was above me, I downloaded.
Oh, really? Oh, my God. You?
I downloaded the game that was going to get me some achievements. Just something.
Wow.
I'm not.
I'm like place number 45 or 50 on a list.
Yeah, that's how.
That's how bad it is.
I've done nothing but multiplayer for the last few weeks. So it was a case of I've got to download something and play something that's going to net me something. Just I can't have Stubbs saying I've got more achievements than you. That's
literally, yeah, 10G, and you passed it. You know, come on.
Well, I've been playing PlayStation recently, but also I've been playing Xbox as well. So
yeah, wrong with that.
Have I finished Song of Iron? I think Indie Gamer knows that one. I'm right near the end, but I haven't finished it. Literally,
end of the tutorial.
No,
Have you
I'm
finished it? He didn't finish yet.
I finished that a long time ago. That's one of the games. That's one of the games I have completed.
Is your favourite movie The Never-Ending Story?
No, I don't watch movies. I don't watch movies very often. Welcome, Matt Barnes. Thanks for popping in.
Remember, you had the lowest gamer score out of everybody here on Edith Finch. Remember?
Yes, actually, I was banging on about it. Yeah, I didn't get all the achievements like pick the rabbit up and in so many swoops and that. Yeah, I couldn't be bothered to do that. I thought, well, I'm not going back and doing that. I didn't. But yes, where are we going now? So, Luke, were you getting emotional about Starfield being delayed? I can imagine you were. No.
Yeah, I was sobbing profusely. No, I mean, I had pretty much the exact same reaction as Animated had, which was, oh, that's disappointing. And then I moved on with my life because I'm a normal, rational human being. So, yeah, it's disappointing. I think the Starfield one was surprising to some extent because they picked a very specific date and that made it seem like they were very, very confident that they were going to deliver on that date. But, you know, we're in a post or somewhat still current pandemic world of game development. So clearly stuff has happened. And if we know anything about Bethesda Game Studios games is they could use all the time they need really to iron out the enormous amount of bugs that come from those games, even though they're, you know, fantastic for the most part. They do often lack some polish. So if it gets a lot longer in the oven to polish, I think that's only a good thing. So I mean, yeah, it's disappointing, and I think Animated again, you know, was right in that I think the disappointment isn't necessarily from those games being delayed. It's the fact that there's nothing in that vacuum, I guess, from an Xbox first party perspective that is around that we know of, and I don't think you can rationalize anything appearing in that space either, because that's not really how game development works. You know, if you think, you know, we might get, say, a new Forza this year, that's the most likely thing. But other than that, I just think, look, every platform holder or publisher has kind of a barren quote unquote period in terms of what it's producing, and I think this year is just that for Xbox. But everyone has one, you know, and they'll have Starfield and Redfall next year plus a load of others, so it'll probably be a really amazing year, you know, next year, and other platform holders / publishers will have a lighter year. That's just how game development works. It's very cyclical. Yeah, I think it's fine, and I think people need to calm down. So
yeah, no, you're right. Just it always makes me laugh when everyone goes, "Oh yeah, next year will be a great year." It keeps happening that, and then it doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
although this year's been a pretty good year already. I mean, it depends on. I think a lot of it depends often on how many platforms you play on, right? Obviously, if you only play on one platform, you're limited to that platform. So it might be a good year, it might be not. If you play on everything, every year's a good year. Every year has lots of stuff. So.
Yeah, no, that's very true. You play on all platforms. I don't think you play on and plus you got Master Race now. He's got a Steam Deck, so yes, you also got Steam Deck as well.
Sat in front
I'm
of me.
I'm looking forward to that being passed over to me. Yeah.
Oh, it's you'll have a job. It occupies about 55 inches of my desk. It's that large, so I have to be expensive post. No, but I do. It's a very, very, very cool piece of technology. It's really, really cool.
It does look. It's getting great reviews. There was do you listen to Defining Duke with Mr. Matty Plays?
Sometimes.
And Lord Cognito. I mean, Mr. Matty Plays has now got a Steam Deck, and he's raving about it. He's got a friend that helps him out on how to use it and been teaching him. And he said it's amazing. He said.
Yeah, I mean, I had I've been playing it. I haven't really sat down, apart from one game. I haven't actually sat down and played something for extended periods, because the first thing I wanted to do was just play lots of different things to see how does this game run. But I have been sitting down, of all games, with Metal Gear Rising on Steam, which is just an awesome game, and it's just surreal playing that on a handheld, at 60 FPS and basically max settings. I mean, it's an old game now, but I played Metal Gear Solid 5, on a handheld at 60 FPS. I mean, it's just bonkers. It's really crazy. It's a really, really cool piece of technology.
Yeah, Indie Gamer's getting his word in there. What did I say about the Steam Deck a while back when some of you weren't sure? Told you it would rock. There you go.
There you go. He knows.
It's getting rave reviews. It is very customizable. That's what I keep hearing about it. It's very customizable. It is. Yeah,
it's really cool.
So yes, hang on. Where are we going now? Just trying to. VJ, what do you reckon about the start? I bet you're fed up with talking about Starfield now, aren't you?
Yeah, I spoke about it last week, and I spoke about it yesterday on Boom Show. And
you're going to speak about it today?
No, please, no.
RemovableSanity can't wait to. That's why I'm leaving him till last.
No,
I know he wants to vent on it.
Yeah, I mean, I've made all my points, in terms of, Xbox's perspective, in terms of when they knew, and so on and so forth. The sort of momentum that they built and so on and so forth. And I think it's the last thing that they wanted, but it's just a case of that these same issues keep arising over at Xbox. And I think that's what they need to resolve in terms of. And I was on the panel yesterday, and there was people in the chat saying, "Oh, they just need to buy this studio, they need to buy that, and then fill the gap and buy Gotham Knights." And I'm thinking, you know what? You're still going to sell all your hardware this Christmas. It's going to be hard to get, and most 99%. Well, let's just say a high percentage of those you would assume will end up subscribing to the service. And if you just look at what Sony did last year, with when their two games, was it GT7 and Horizon Forbidden West, when they slipped. Sony didn't do anything, and perhaps Xbox don't really need to do anything either, because it's not really going to. All it's going to do is shift a certain projected amount of revenue out of one quarter into another, or perhaps, as you're saying, Stubbs, the end of next year. I think it's about momentum. The other point I thought was a good point yesterday that someone brought up on the panel was the fact that it was in terms of how it was handled. It was just like, all the build up and everything, all the momentum, all the little sort of mini interviews and releases and comments from Todd and interviews. And then when it comes to a significant sort of call on what's happening with Starfield, it was just like a little post. And like, I think to Luke's point where, or was it you, Removable, not you, Animated, when you said that, they've done a lot of work in terms of building up the noise around the game, and then just to sort of go out on a whimper in terms of managing a disappointment, shall we say, for fans. And on that disappointment, I've got to say, I have to agree with Removable and with Luke, right? How naive and idiotic it shows the human mind to be when you allow external events or a company's fate in this matter to determine how you feel. Why are you not in control of your own faculties? It's the definition of, look, it's just my point of view. Maybe I'm insane, right? But it's a definition of insanity, not being in charge and responsible for your own emotions, your own reactions. And I think even reactions is something that people need to eliminate. That's why we live in a profoundly sick society, because people, since they've got their phones with them, which is the smartest thing about most people, is that they've literally forgot over the last 20 or 25 years in terms of the art of responding rather than reacting. And that's why I say that it's just a really low frequency mindset that a lot of people have got, and it's quite concerning. And it's more prevalent than you would want to realize or want to believe, because I'm assuming that most of you guys on the panel and the people in the chat surround themselves with sensible people, and includes you, Mr. Stubbs, as well. Sorry, yeah. The host, yes.
Thanks for that. When I'm here, the computer keeps going.
And again, someone said to me, "Oh no, how could they have known that that Xbox? How could Xbox have known that the game was going to be delayed. It's impossible. Blah 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 blah. I'm saying, well, look, guys, the way I would look at it is that this is Bethesda specific. If you've experienced working in studios, you'll know that just by sort of like how can I put, working back from the date of release, and it has a lot of fundamental milestones attributed to the last 12 months of game development and so on and so forth. It's pretty clear and pretty obvious, right, in terms of especially if you're working on a custom engine. And I think Mr. Tucci mentioned Cyberpunk, Halo, and this game all have custom built engines. And if you look at all of the interviews that Todd's had over the last year or so, just prior and post the acquisition, he continues to mention, which no one pays attention to, the fact that they've had to tear the engine apart, rebuild facets of the engine completely because they didn't even have the subsystems or the sub tool sets. Forgive me, I think that's about right in terms of technical terms. To cater for the creative aspects of the game that they had in mind for gamers to experience, right? And I think that's what you've really got to look at. And again, you're saying, well, it could happen to any studio, but it's Bethesda, right? Look, you all know about time, right? And the studio's been going for 20-25 years. It's not new to them, as Luke has pointed out. Time is a factor in acquiring knowledge, and you acquire knowledge through experience, through incidents, through accidents, through communication, and so on. You know what I'm talking about, guys. You know what I'm talking about, Removable, right? You're in the kind of industry, managing people, and you, Animated Evil. And all acquired knowledge, especially an experienced producer or producers, not just at Bethesda, but over at Xbox, those guys, the kind of remuneration that they're being paid and the kind of experience that they have, you kind of see these things and know these things before they even happen, right? That's what you're getting paid the big bucks for. And I'm not saying, I don't care about the game being delayed or not being delayed and just stuff like that, right? But there's just obviously more to it. And I've said this 2 years ago when I first joined Boom's show. I said, look, the problem is Phil keeps having to come out and apologize for the same mistakes that are being made by the same people in his management, right? Because Xbox, I don't know if you guys know, but Microsoft as a corporation, I've worked with different aspects of Microsoft in the past, but politics and management play a big part, right, in terms of how they operate, right? And in terms of, diversionary tactics by management, systematic and apportioning blame, systematically so. And hence you find sometimes situations like this occurring time and time again, because in these large corporations, sometimes people don't tell the whole truth in terms of what's actually happening, and there's a miscommunication. So, and that's why I even said, I think at the time when Daryl Gallagher, right, because he's known to run a really tight ship, especially when he was over at Square Enix, right? And then when he came to Microsoft, I was surprised that they were creating a studio around him, because I actually thought he would be the perfect guy to actually replace Matt Booty and Bonnie. And my opinion hasn't changed for 2 years. And perhaps that might still come to pass. I don't know. But I think I'm kind of digressing from the main topic here. So I'm going to hand it over to back to you, Mr. Stubbs, and then you can bat the ball out of the park whichever way you feel.
No, you've got some great opinions there, VJ. You have. It's an interesting one where it's not as simple as it seems, is it? It's
not as simple, but it's not as complex as it seems either at the same time. Other than the fact that the game needed more time. And the thing is, if you look at it this way, right, when they announced the game and all the, as Animated was saying, all the build up, right, it's all been positive. And if you look at it today, even if you look at the news being negative, what the hell? And you've got the police there. But what you've got, even if it's negative, right, Starfield and Xbox are still on the lips of every single gamer that's looking forward to the game. So it's a win-win for Xbox, and it's only a matter of 20 odd days. And they'll put this all in their rear mirror? I don't have a car at the moment. Rear windscreen or whatever.
Rear mirror, yeah.
And they'll dissipate all this noise anyway, right? As Luke was mentioning. So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to the show. And I don't know much about Starfield and Animated. Removable was absolutely right. How can you get excited? You don't even know what it's about, right? You got a fair idea, right, what they're going to do, but you still don't know fundamentally anything about it. So from my point of view, I'm so looking forward to the June 12th event, because I'd like to see more of the game if they're up for showing it. And if they don't show it, I think that will also tell us more about what's actually occurring over at Xbox. But I'm sure that in general, as Mr. Tucci was saying at the beginning of the show, they're going to have plenty to show. So sorry, but that was you, Mr. Tucci, right? I've forgotten now. So many of us on the show.
Also,
there was two.
I was
there is two, isn't
at
there?
the same time.
Oh, for God's sake, I'll sort that out. Hang on.
Don't fall asleep.
One good thing that's going to come out of this palaver that's going on at the moment is, I feel like we're going to be they're going to flood Game Pass with content. I think this year.
Yeah, I hope so.
They've got to. That's the only thing they can do.
Well, let's say, not got a lot of faith in them in that regard.
I have faith in them.
But it's been a long time since they've actually slapped somebody down to get a big day and date game in Game Pass. A long time now.
I don't think Xbox need to do that. I think they've got so much in the. I don't know about you guys. I mean, let's ask everybody. Let's ask Removable. Go on, Removable. Take it away.
What, in terms of, is Game Pass currently needing right now, as of today?
Starfield, everything, the whole shebang. Take it away.
As I said, I couldn't actually get. Yes, it's disappointing, but at this stage, I don't know enough about it to be any more eager about it. As VJ has said, I want to see something at the show to give me something more than what I've already seen. I have faith it will be a very good game, but what is the game? I'm still very confused or even unaware of what the actual game's going to be about. It's I don't know what it's going to be about, so I'm kind of holding off in that regards. Yes, it's disappointing in terms of something to fill its boots. When that came around, I thought, well, in that case, then if that's going to happen, they're going to have to bring something to the plate at E3. It's just going to have to be this. It's going to have to come. Something's going to have to come out there. Whether it's, I don't know, a new franchise, a new IP, a new game, or something that we haven't seen yet, like Perfect Dark. Don't know. There will have to be something. In terms of content coming to Game Pass, I suspect that will probably happen. I think Tushi's hit the nail on the head there. I think it will probably be a good chunk of games which will probably come through. The question is where from, and I don't know whether it's going to be. Maybe they'll say actually, it's another selection of games. Maybe it's Western games. It's going to be hitting now. Sorry, Eastern games.
All they've got to do is just keep doing what they've been doing ever since it started. It's just they've been flooding it with content every single month. Even bigger. I enjoy the small games on there. There's so much. Yeah,
the little indie games, exactly. Yeah, and do you know what Do you know what I've been hearing in the last couple of months? And I'm sure everyone's been saying this. I've got a backlog to get through.
Yep.
How many times can we say that? I've got a backlog to get through.
The dawn of time.
Yeah, but it's been much more prominent this year. It's like I've got backlog to get through. I've got backlog to get through. I've got backlog, and it's much more prominent. So that tells you something. It's like, I guess, don't be wrong. Be excited for the games that are coming through. Be excited for the indie games that are coming through. You've still got tons to play. Absolutely blooming tons to play. So in that regards, I'm kind of like, do you know what? I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to enjoy the games for what they are. If something really amazing comes through, I'm going to play it. If it doesn't, I've got a hell of a backlog to get through to try and play, as well as some of the amazing indie games that are punching through as well. To me, I'm happy. And maybe that's where it is. At this current stage right now, I'm happy with the situation that Xbox faces. I would be a lot happier if PlayStation is getting itself up to that standard to breed more competition. And I'm hoping that will happen. But in terms of Xbox, I'm happy as it is. If it gets better, fantastic. Don't know if that's going to go well with. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to hit well with some people.
Yeah, it's also I have seen lately a lot of stuff about Contraband is supposed to be shown, which I'm excited to see that one.
Yeah,
Animated disagrees. I can see
it.
We'll see what happens next month.
Sorry, people have guessed, but I can't see it coming. Not yet.
Yeah. Actually, just on that, Mr. Tucci, you mentioned Contraband. Every time someone mentions that game, my mind shifts to the Indiana Jones game. So maybe it's just me, but I'd like to see more of that if possible.
What point and click games?
No. You know that Bethesda are making. I don't know which studio, but they
Machine Games are making it, are they?
Yeah. I'm not sure, but I've always been a fan of Indiana Jones, more so than Star Wars, anyway. But well, again, we only saw a trailer, well, a CG trailer. So again, like Contraband, it might be really quite early animated. So, but anyway, I'm looking forward to it either way. And obviously, I'm obviously waiting for Luke Steele because he's obviously going to, with a name like that, he's obviously going to star in a game of his own. So can't wait for that to be unveiled. Yeah.
This hasn't happened yet. I'm still waiting.
Apparently, he plays a fighter pilot in it. A fighter pilot. Yep, that's it. Contraband. That'll be you, Mr. Tucci, driving around all sorts over cross borders, won't it, in your big truck?
Truck Simulator 2023.
Oh, I wish. Jesus.
Now with drive-through Mackie D's.
I know, one for like 4 weeks now.
I know. And that's praise to Mr. Tushy there, who has kind of reduced his intake of Mackie D's significantly, and as we speak, is showcasing us all off of how much he's working out. You can see him. He's in his working out shirt now, in fact. So don't rub his nipples. Oh God, Stubbs has legged it after seeing that.
I literally came home from the gym, come straight upstairs and turned the computer on and go on a podcast. I still smell BO from the gym.
It's the old what's it called? The Savoy smell, is it?
It's Old Spice.
Old Spice.
Old Spice and chip fat
with a mixture of brut as well.
There we go. Now we're talking. That's a smell, brut. That's a smell.
I'm not allowed to buy that, you know. It's only like £4 in the shops. My missus hates the smell, so she won't let me wear it.
You might as well douse yourself in TCP. For the smell of brut, you might as well douse yourself in TCP or Dettol, one of those, because you know what? It'll probably smell better.
What the hell? What's going on there? It'll probably smell better. What's that?
I was just talking about your gooch.
You don't want to be either.
But no, the general view on Starfield overall is positive. It's a good thing for the future of the game. It comes out next year. But yeah, in general, there's plenty of games. I mean, I'll be honest, you're probably going to go to the showcase. You'll probably see a load of games you like. You'll see some games that will probably surprise. You'll see. I would love to see some more on the Somerville game with hopefully a release date, because that looks a very good game. That does.
Mr. Stubbs, will there be a game at the showcase that you will complete? That's the 5.
Somerville.
Gear 6.
Somerville. But I will say that if the Gears collection is real, I've already completed them all. So I'll have to go and recomplete them all.
Have you completed them all?
Have you?
Yeah. I think if we went through his Xbox profile, I'm sure there's some Gears there you haven't completed.
Midweek
not locked.
You
might find the Gears.
You know, there's going to be a top topic on the show next week. StubzGaming's.
But I don't class Gears Tactics.
See, there we go. He's back in already.
But it's
StubzGaming exposed.
Like, welcome to Warwick Gaming. But you go from a fast-paced shooter to a slow as hell turn-based game. Well, I can't get on with that.
There's nothing wrong with the turn-based game.
Yeah, exactly.
But not in the Gears world. That's why I didn't do very well. So you won't see another. You won't.
I'm just so glad we've got Kratos on the show today.
Yeah, Kratos is back.
Yeah, but moving my bald head.
Kratos with headphones on. I've seen it all now.
All right, Indie Gamer is booking a prediction. Somerville
DLC.
The Somerville Shadow Drop. Book it in. That's what he's predicting. That'd be good. That would be. But I reckon you'll probably see a load of games that you didn't know about, and you probably won't. But
do you know what? It could be, and just because I'm thinking of it, it could be an Xbox handheld system.
I know what they won't get back into R&D again. Not after you. I'm sorry to say, you've got a superior machine called the Steam Deck now.
You say, come on, there are other other elements called the One X Player, which is coming up behind it.
One X Player, what's that?
It's basically another alternative to the Steam Deck. And I would point out to ETA Prime on that. He does fantastic videos where he actually showcases not only the Steam Deck, also the competitors. And so far, currently, right now, it seems to be One X Player is coming up swiftly with its specs.
I don't think it can take Steam Deck on. Come on,
Luke. Come on, Luke.
Have a look.
Come on, Luke. Come on, Luke. Fight the corner. I heard about it.
The Steam Deck. No, I've seen it. The One X Player is a cool little thing. I don't think it will be any kind of Steam Deck competitor, but it's
there. You
cool.
Go. He's fought the corner. But yes, what do you guys think about this puck? Have you heard about this streaming puck? Apparently, that you can buy and stream games to your TV. That's the idea of it.
Well, it's going to be like the Amazon. It's like the Amazon. What's it called?
Fire
my god! Yeah,
it won't be exactly like a stick. It'll be like a puck because you wouldn't be able to. Apparently, the reason it's going to be more of a shape of a puck is. Stick wouldn't be powerful enough to run it. So
yeah, isn't the Amazon Chrome was a circle puck, wasn't it?
Google Chrome.
Google Chrome, yeah.
Oh, was it a puck? I didn't know that. Oh,
was it a Chromecast? Oh, it's one of those, was it? It was actually. It was. Yeah, there was one that was similar to a puck size sort of thing. But it makes sense because. Go on.
Isn't this puck just to put it on TVs that are not Samsung? Because it's coming in standard on Samsung TVs, but
I think a lot of these apps, though, to be honest, a lot of TVs also don't update their TV. I mean, I think it's only the latest Samsung TVs up to year 2021 that will probably get the new Xbox app. I don't think they update all their app stores on their TVs. A lot of them don't. You see, so. I think it's a good idea if you've got good internet, say like RemovableSanity or Sushi. You've got very good internet like them, or Animate. Saying that though, we're looking at the room now. I'm the crappiest one with the crappiest internet. I bet VJ's got incredible internet.
Yeah,
I saw that. Did someone fire a gun at your? Oh, I thought someone had a little bit of a fire. You know.
Yeah, that
gangland coming around the back of you.
So his eggs kicking in. It's been a
fart. All that contraband you've been shipping about, Mr. Tucci, they're after you.
Yeah, he can get hold of it. Lorry driver, you see.
No,
gets hold of all sorts.
No, I just think he's just been making disparaging remarks of pineapple being on pizza, and that's why they're after him.
Oh yeah, I will kick on friendly pests. Yes, Xbox bringing out a VR/AR option would be fantastic. I would like to see that, to be honest with you. I know PlayStation has got their own version of VR, so I'd like to see that on Xbox as well. After seeing Friendly Pest streams and Tushi streams and Animate streams, that would, I think that would be good.
Did you see that? The minute you said that about pineapple on pizza, Cerebral Paul appeared saying "sigh." So he is listening.
It's probably what it's just post lunch at the moment. I'm sure he's munching down on a pineapple pizza Hawaiian right now.
He's got it.
Recently, PJ has just been all out for Paul with pineapple on pizza recently.
Look, I can guarantee you, if he's not having pineapple on pizza, he's having a pineapple smoothie.
He says, "Shut up, PJ. Shut up."
Know why he eats a lot of
summoned by his love.
He's only saying that because it's true.
So. VJ, Indie Gamer wants your Silk Song prediction this year or next year.
No, he needs to make the prediction first. Actually, no, let's go to Luke.
There we go.
This is all passing the puck.
Hey.
Next year.
Next year.
Yeah, I'll go with Luke.
Yep.
I'll go with Luke too. Not completed it, never will. But
early 2023.
I might complete it in 10 years' time.
I reckon it will launch at the same day as Starfield.
What? Never.
It could, to be honest. I mean, I say winter 2023. It could be winter 2024. Who knows?
Yeah, see, even Indy says Feb 2023. Yeah, I reckon, yep, early 2023.
Be a
Nintendo. New Switch.
It would be on the Nintendo Direct, wouldn't it? Because the last one was on the Nintendo Direct, wasn't it? It weren't the indie show. It was I believe it was on the Nintendo Direct when they showed it off.
Talking of Nintendo, is anyone looking forward to Breath of the Wild 2?
No.
Yeah, but you have Tushi, you've got a Nintendo Switch, so you can get that.
I bought Breath of the Wild twice. I bought it physically years ago, and then I bought it digitally, and I slightly bloody played it.
Oh my!
I got about an hour in. That's as far as I got.
What about you, Luke?
Have a word, VJ.
Oh yeah, very much looking forward to the sequel.
Oh, okay, cool. At least there's two of us.
Yeah, the first was
I've got a Nintendo
incredible.
3DS, but I doubt it's coming to that.
I'd like to see that port, just to see all 4 frames a second of glory that it would run at.
Yep, I know. Incredible.
320p.
Yeah,
86p.
Yeah, probably actually. Yeah,
I've got the 3DS, but I can't see the 3D. It just gives me a headache. I can't see it at all. I can't. It's not even real 3D.
Do you
3DS and there's
do you just play Professor Layton on it? Is that what it's for?
I've got a Pokemon on there. I haven't actually played them yet.
You should be playing Dragon Quest 9 on it.
Okay, I'll try and find a copy out then. Dragon Quest 9.
Actually, isn't the 3DSs, aren't they going up in price because of there's a surge for them at the moment in terms
Probably
of
is, 'cause it's all physical.
Yeah.
Physical media. Something Xbox doesn't want to exist. Destroy it.
We're not going down the DRM route again, are we?
No, why not?
DRM. Fucking love it.
Well, you've got to stop piracy, ain't you?
DRM is the best thing that's ever happened to Xbox.
And that was the last time we ever saw Tushi on the podcast ever again.
I know, yeah, but it's been a good show. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my computer for next week. I'm on my phone again now, so I don't know what the quality is anymore.
Just plug it into the mains. Stop trying to use the solar panels connected to it to try and keep it powered.
It is plugged in. It's the bloody browsers keep crashing all the time.
What browsers are you using?
I've got Brave, and I've also got Google Chrome, and it's my computer.
Oh, Google Chrome's a bit of a sod, isn't it?
Yeah, but I've also been using Brave. It does the same thing.
I was going to say, Removable, send him your PC, and he'll send you his headphones.
Yeah, your PC. Well,
what PC?
Yeah, he hasn't got one.
I can send him in thin air. Yeah, I'm more than happy to give him free headphones.
Samsung Dex. He's all about Samsung Dex.
Oh my god.
Yep. I know what it is. I've realised what it is. It's the fact that I'm using my mobile phone close to my headset and it's picking up the sound of that. That's what it is. I found out.
Is anyone picking up the sounds of my vibrations on my headphones?
Very deep, bad vibrations, yeah.
I doubt it.
Man.
Astro A50s, baby. That's what I'm using. Doubt it. There'll be any problems with these ones. These are old, though. These are.
Stubbs, keep your vibrations to yourself. So like I say.
Good call.
But yeah, thanks for coming on, everyone, and thanks, chat. It's been a great chat. It's been great to have Luke Steele on and Mr. Tushi returning. But Luke Steele, thanks for coming on. And you're part of, better say it because the main man's in the building. You're part of the Indie Games podcast and Green Path Gaming. Thanks for popping on tonight. It's been great.
Yeah, very welcome. It's been a lot of fun and always a pleasure.
Where can people find you if they want to?
You've already said it. Green Path Gaming, Indie Game Podcast, Twitter. I'm everywhere.
You are.
Jersey, fly over. We'll all have fun.
Thanks for coming on. And Mr. Tushi, thanks for coming on. I wasn't sure if you were coming on, but I just put a message in the DM if you want to come in. It's nice to have you back on. It feels like the old days when you can always guarantee you'll do something. You will. That'll be funny. Yeah.
I've been a good boy today, though. I've been
Always,
good all day.
I always remember when you put that thing in the background once so everyone could see it. I remember that one.
I was used to leave a butt plug on every stream, didn't I, somewhere in the background?
Yep.
You did. Yeah, thanks for coming on. Do you want to promote where we can find you?
In RemovableSanity's shed.
He's Mr. Big Shot on Twitter.
Trust me, there is
his follow account. Tushy's Mr. Big Shot.
Yes.
I'm just an idiot on Twitter, that's all. If anyone knows me, I'm just myself on there. Just be a dickhead all day, that's about it.
But isn't there something you do? I'm sure it's something you do at the weekends. I'm trying to think of what it is.
Evil promote it if you want.
Smuggling Contraband.
We do community game night.
That's it. That's the one.
We've actually cut down to Saturdays only at the moment, which is really nice. It's nice to have an extra night free. This week we're actually playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, which is looking forward to that one. It's going to be a brutal night, I think. Hopefully. That's about it, really.
You've been brave there. You've gone for a game that isn't in Game Pass. Well, yeah. Wow.
It was because last week there was about 8 or 9 of us in the party, and we were discussing what to play next, and we mentioned COD came up, and we said, should we have a game of COD next weekend? And everyone had it, and we chose one that everybody owns.
That's fair enough. That is. You're getting some right stick in your chat, you know, Tisha. You are.
As Dragon says this, I'm a dickhead everywhere. That's true.
Cool. Well, Cerebral said not just on Twitter. But yeah, thanks for coming on. It's been nice to have you back. You know,
it's been fun.
RemovableSanity, thanks for hopping on.
No, thank you for having me on. Of course, it's fantastic to have the infamous Luke on and the famous Tushy on, who's always is amusing and fun, regardless of whether he says he's a dickhead or not, which is true, but he's still fun. Honestly, if you don't follow these two, I would recommend at least following these two individuals. And if you're really, really desperate, then you might want to follow me on either Minds, YouTube, Twitter, or Xbox under the name RemovableSanity.
Thanks for popping on. It was good chat tonight. What a caught of it. I'll try and sort my computer out for next week. But yeah, thanks again. And now, Animated Evil. Thanks for coming on.
Do you know what? As always, it's been an absolute pleasure. Great to have Mr. Tushy back. Even better to have Luke on today with us. That's been awesome. Yeah. You can find me, Animated Evil 857 on Xbox and Twitch, Animated_Evil on YouTube and Twitter. And again, like Mr. Tushy said so eloquently, half asleep I think he is, that we do a community game night at 9 p.m. UK time. You find us on Xbox at Mr. Tushy and Animated Evil 857. Come join the fun. It's a laugh.
So
thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on, and VJ, thanks for coming on. It's been a good one. It has.
Yeah, definitely. I've enjoyed the show. It was really nice to have Mr. Tushy back on. So hopefully we'll see you again next week, Mr. Tushy, if life allows. Luke, as always. Sorry.
So I was just saying, see how work treats me next week.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's really good to have you back on, Kratos, Mr. Tushy. And Luke, I always like hearing your perspective, and I know you're a busy guy, so thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to come on. And yeah, it's been really, really great, and I'm glad you're looking forward to Breath of the Wild 2 as well. And,
thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries. And hopefully next week, Stubbs and the pineapple slurping and munching guru, which is Paul, will be back on next week.
I doubt it. He'll be actually at an event next week, I suspect.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be here next week either.
That's okay. He can just shove some abuse in the chat, and he owes me a round of golf. I'm pretty certain he does anyway for the pineapple trophy. And all plated, of course. But,
it's so funny how you go.
And thanks for having me on the show, Mr. Stubbs. I really appreciate it. I was actually looking forward to today's show. Often I don't really, but
apparently Cerebral Paul will be in attendance. He goes,
"I'll
be here."
Go. See, there you guys were mocking him, disparaging him, and only my love for pineapple had him scheduled in for next week. There you go.
But yeah, it's been an excellent show. It has been fun. It has. You never miss the helicopter noise from RemovableSanity. You always know when he's present. You do.
God.
Paul's. I was just going to say. Paul says he's going to stalk me from at some point. I just want to say he's more than welcome to come visit me in LA anytime.
Shall I bring some Savloys with me?
No. I know where there's a really great pineapple farm. Take him out there for the weekend, like perhaps a few hours.
At least everyone in that area has fruity cum.
See, that's Cerebral. It weren't me. It was Tushi, Mr. Kratos.
And there it is. And there it is.
Yeah, that's the signature ending we all miss.
Exactly.
You were being a good boy.
Always a good boy.
But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. It's been fun. It has. And we will see you next week.
It's nice.
There we go.
Yay!
See you next week, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye-bye.